Good afternoon. Um, Most of you seeing this will know me. If you won't, my name is Paul Kine. And for the last few years, in particular the last 6 months, my life has not gone anything according to plan. There has been a series of deaths in the family that I was looking after, other personal problems. And then it all wound up in the end, the last straw that brings me here today, is I was diagnosed approximately 6 months ago with leukemia, in particular CLL, aggressive CLL, um, leukemia transmorphing lymphoma, which means that it came very quickly out of nowhere and started to get into my lymph nodes, and they were very concerned that it was going to turn into lymphoma. So I was in under 30 days from diagnosis to first treatment, which is all wonderful and good. Um, but the treatment regime has been hard on the body, and it takes about, all said and done, 2 weeks out of my month, every month for the last 4 months. I am not currently working, nor have I worked for some time. I was on disability, permanent disability awarded, what they call AISH in Alberta, just before the diagnosis came in, which is probably the only reason I'm still sitting here talking to you, because what Alberta healthcare covers is good. Throw on top what the AISH covers, in particular, most of my prescriptions, and I'm reasonably okay. That being said, AISH does not pay well. No disability anywhere in the world that I'm aware of pays well. It's a survival level of income. It is enough to get you by. But when you factor in that I normally work part-time as an entertainer on the side, that's been gone for several months now, coupled with the fact that there are certain bills, even on disability, on the Canadian health system, that are not covered, and they slowly add up. Actually, it's nothing slow about it. Coupled with the fact that there's a lot of extra driving, host of medical appointments every month. Parking is good for close to $100 a month. Needless to say, this is expensive, and it has tapped me out. I have no credit to speak of. I'm in quite a bit of debt through this to the independent loan providers who charge, I believe mine is at 49% right now. Unfortunately, if I wanted to eat and keep my vehicle running, that was the option that I had. So here I sit today with this video and a request on GoFundMe. I am looking for some money to get myself square with my debts, to recover from the loss of income that the chemotherapy treatments for cancer have done to me. That, and maybe to get a little bit ahead, but I'll get into that in a minute. Now, I am not one to go and ask for help very well. It's not my nature. I tend to do things on my own and try and fix my own problems, but I'm afraid I'm out of options. But that being said, I think I've come up with a reasonable compromise. Some of you may know, and more of you will know in the future, I hope, that I have generated a new performance act. For those who don't know, I was part of the Wandering Gypsies for many, many years. I was a busker, a tarot card reader, a herder of cats. We did a performance troupe. We worked all over Alberta doing tarot card reading, palmist reading. We had some wonderful ladies doing belly dancing with us, musicians. We were a performance ensemble, full costume, the whole bit. But that unfortunately came to an end, I would say a year and a half ago. We finally rolled up the last of it. I have created a new act, a new persona, Lord Eric Wall, spiritualist. And he will be performing old school 1890s Victorian spiritualism. So a little bit of stage magic, a little bit of the paranormal what if. And I will be running this act as Lord Wall. I have a cast of two, the Lady Rose, my ward, Collingsworth, my butler, and we will be doing shows starting the new year, hopefully with a big show on January 1st for some lucky person. And what we're doing here on the GoFundMe is I'm going to take a page from Patreon, which unfortunately I would have used, but it doesn't quite do what I need to do. So, in the links on the GoFundMe page, you'll find links to my Facebook page, my website, and a few other forms of media. And there you will find exactly what we're offering. But basically, the deal is this. Contribute to the GoFundMe at a moderate to large volume. And instead of just having a warm, fuzzy feeling for helping out an old man who had a really rotten run of cancer, when I have recovered and the act is fully in swing starting January, according to the table, you can have a tarot card reading, a palm reading, runestones, which, to the best of my knowledge, there's very, very few people up in Southern Alberta who offer. Tea leaf reading by myself and or the Lady Rose, or you may even have the full performance of the Spiritualist Parlor, which will be a Victorian seance, old school, 1890s, all the tricks and all the trappings, where I will go through it, and then I will explain a few, because to this day, there's some of those tricks, even though they're 125 years old, that the International Brotherhood of Magicians really doesn't want people knowing how they work. Some of it's been around so long it's common knowledge, and those are the ones I'll be sharing to enlighten people. But then, here's the twist. I am a rare thing. I am a magician who believes in the paranormal and the supernatural. I will conduct a real seance after the first event. So the first half of the show, the table will talk to you, the plates will float, the Ouija board will astound. Then, some of those will be explained. Some other tricks may happen as well, depending on what we have. Then, after that, we will sit, have a sip of tea, and then move on to a proper seance and see if something really does come through the veil. Now, the prices for these will vary. The bigger the contribution, the bigger the party. The seance is the biggest thing. The grand event would be a full day, which would involve a tea leaf reading party for up to 6 people. The seance, again, up to 6 people. Both of those events in one day, perhaps some one-on-one as well, depending on what sort of party you're looking at booking. But there we go. So I'm not just coming hat in hand to the world at large. I am offering a service in trade. So, if you wish to contribute a little, I hopefully will have some little bits to say thank you and send out. When you start to get into the medium, you will get into the things, as I said, like say a palm reading, or not a palm reading, a tarot card reading by myself, a palm reading by the Lady Rose. These will vary in time based on the donation. Usually they're hour to hour and a half long events. And then you start to move into the tea leaf reading parties and to the seances, and like I say, the great grand party, we're going to call it. That one's a good-sized contribution. Anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble along. May you all have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for your time and listening to me again. And we will hopefully have you contribute. At least visit our websites. We will be open for bookings and parties come January, assuming that the chemo wall clears me up at the end of November, which is what it looks like it should be doing. Anyways, thank you so much. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be one.